And then the floor, we go texture, usage, floor, and we want a nice wood floor probably. There we go. Okay, so we have a nice room. Let's add a ceiling because we don't want any leaks. We'll just add a flat ceiling for now, keep it simple. So we click and drag in the 2D window. You can only create brushes in the 2D window. And it automatically uses the texture that you have selected down here. Generally, the standard accepted width for a wall is, if you have your units set on 4, and you do that by going 1 on the keyboard, 2 on the keyboard, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it only goes up to 7. But if you hit 4, it becomes 1 unit is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. Okay, so it reduces that to 1 unit, but it's really 8 units. And if you hit 6, then it gets even bigger. So let's go 4, and we'll make it 1 wide. Okay. So now we have a roof. I don't really like that texture. It's not a good roof texture. You'll find that if you go into usage, roof, you're not going to really find a ceiling. Let's see, is there ceiling usage here? Ceiling. There we go. Let's find a nice. This doesn't really match. None of these are good. You'll find you have a problem when you actually want to make something look nice in this game. You'll have to go into the realm of custom textures. Let's just use concrete for now. Who gives a shit? But yeah, you have a room now. Let's add an adjacent room. Let's make sure our roof is covering the whole top here. There we go. One more side. There we go. Now we're covering. We got one too many over here. There we go. So to add an adjacent room, you could do it the lazy way and select all these objects and hit the space bar, and you get a duplicate. Shit, 1 second. Okay, so yeah, you can make a copy of any object with the space bar. I don't want to do that. I want to make a new room. So let me figure out which wall this is. Okay, it's that wall. So let's make a new room that is wider than the first one by that much. And to make it symmetrical, we'll drag a copy of that over to the side, like so. And then, okay. And then let's see, how long do I want this room? I want it to be about half the size of the other one, so I'll stop there. And then I'll drag this copy over to the side. You can resize brushes by dragging outside of their boundary and like so. And if you want to move them, you drag from inside the boundary. Okay. And then connect the walls, so I drag it across like that. And then if you want to make a new brush that has the same shape as a thickness as a different brush, you can select that brush before you make your new brush, and then deselect and make your new brush, and you'll notice that that's the exact same thickness as the roof I just selected. So that saves me some time. It can also be annoying if you're trying to do something and you accidentally select a brush and you lose the brush size that you already had. But whatever. So we have an ugly brown box here, with no floor. So I'll do the ceiling and change my 2D view and drag it down to floor level, like so. Okay. Looks okay. Now let's select each wall and I'm going to hit U on my keyboard to bring up the textures that are in use. I'm going to select the wallpaper texture from there, the floor texture, and leave the ceiling alone because it's already the correct texture. And now we have a separate room with no door. So I'm going to select this wall because it's blocking me from getting into the room. I'm going to resize it, and I'm going to duplicate it for the other side. Okay. I believe there is a set size for doors on one of the wikis out there, but I don't know. I don't give a shit. And then we need a little spot above where the door is, because the door doesn't necessarily need to be that tall. If you need something for reference as far as size, you can always go right-click, go actor, ally, Russian, commissar, pistol, any of the actors. Put them on the floor, like that, and that's automatically the size of the player in game right there. So let's bring this down a little bit, and that's probably a good size right there for a door. Make that the right texture. Okay. Now if you look right here, you'll notice that the floor textures don't really match. So if you select both of them and click well, I guess that's as good as they get. Never mind. Forget I said that. Okay, and let's say we want this to be a fancy door. We want it to have a wood border going around it. So I'm going to hit 2 on my keyboard, and I'm going to drag a little, delete that. I'm going to select the wall here so that I have a preset size, and then I'm going to drag a little box down the side of the wall like that, or side of the doorway like that. I'm going to clone it and put one on the other side too. And I'm going to put one on the front, or on the top, Notice it still keeps the same thickness even though I'm going in a different direction. And then I don't really like that texture because it's I'll just use that texture, who gives a shit. So yeah, now you have a basic doorway. Okay, well, I don't want a doorway, I want a door that I have to pay to open. Okay. So, let's put a door in there. And let's make it bigger so it fills the whole thing. Let's make it a different textures just so we can tell that there's something there. Okay. Now, for any brush in your map that's going to be manipulated by the game engine, i.e. scripts, it has to be a script underscore whatever in Radiant. In this case, it has to be a script brush. If it was a model, it has to be a script model, etc. So the way we do that is we right click in the 2D view and we go to script brush model. Okay. Actually, before I do that, notice that when I bring up the entity window by hitting the N key, the class name for the brush is world spawn. That just means it's a general BSP object. Once I right click it and change it to a script brush model, notice it becomes a script brush model and it's no longer world spawn, and I can add keys to it. This is a pretty common mistake. If you forget to make something a brush model and you start adding KVPs to it while the class name is world spawn, it's going to add that KVP to all your world spawn, all your brushes, and it's going to create a royal fuck up in your map. So just check that if you're having some issues. I'll say that. So now we have our script brush model. Let's see if I can remember the the KVPs. KVPs is an acronym for keys and values. Target name needs to be zombie underscore debris. You need a key of zombie underscore cost. And there's only a few preset costs. If you want something to cost more than 2,000 points, or any cost that, for that matter, that isn't one of the ones I say, then you have to do some scripting. We'll get into that later. The preset costs are, oh boy, I may forget some, but I believe it's 250. Or maybe it starts at 100. 100, 250, 500, 750, 1,000, 1250, 1500, 1750, 2000, I believe, are the preset ones. I don't suggest making a door ever cost less than 2,000, unless it leads to shit nowhere. And even then, charge them 2,000, they're gonna have a lot of points. So that should be the only, let's see, script. Is there anything else? Oh boy. Let me think. I'll go ahead and save this. I'm going to go back to tutorial for reference. I should know this, but my brain is blank at this point. Trigger. What the fuck, magic door? You don't need that. Oh, that's right. Last thing you have to do is you have to... Oh god, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm an idiot. Let's go back. So, what I just told you is all wrong. Delete these key pairs. You need to make a trigger in front of your door. So I'm going to select the door so I get a trigger that's the same size. I'm going to put it in front right like that. And I'm going to right click it and I'm going to go to trigger use. And you'll notice the texture changes and it becomes translucent. You need to put in target name zombie debris and zombie underscore cost 2,000. Then you need to, the lazy way of doing this, well, you need to link the trigger to its target. There's an automatic way of doing that by saying, which you always want to do for doors. Some other things you don't want to do this, but I'm just going to tell you this way. You select the trigger and then you select the door and you hit W on the keyboard and you'll notice there's a blue line connecting both of them. If the line is not blue, then you selected the objects in the wrong order. There's a specific order that you have to select them in. It's the trigger, then the door. Door and then trigger will give you a red arrow, or red line. Okay, so now we have a door going from this room to the next room. And now let's add a zombie window so that these zombies can start coming in right away. I want them to, let's see, is there a floor outside? Okay, there's no ground outside, so let's add a big patch of ground around this entire thing. And put my keyboard on 6. I'm going to drag a nice hunk of land, which you wish it